So here we are at Westcombe Dairy with the Tom Calver of Westcombe Dairy, where they produce some of the best raw milk cheese in the world. We're here today looking at the system that we've just newly installed. So this is quite an interesting one where Tom had an existing feed-in tariff, a modest 50 kilowatt system comprising of 230 watt peak modules, of which we've now replaced for 428 modules that are 540 watts each. Now that's a lot of jargon. So basically, Tom had an existing fit tariff on a 50 kilowatt peak system. We've now up-powered that. We've retained that fit, that vital fit payment where you get paid on generation, and we've installed pretty much double that without changing and or losing that fit. And that was really important to you as a business owner, because you run a business from here and you're now producing your own clean green energy, of which the system up on the roof here is producing over 60% of your need.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
And then that exported energy, you're then getting paid to export that back onto the grid. So
Yeah.
if you're using it, you're saving money. If you're exporting it, you're making money.
Yeah, totally. I mean, what's brilliant about the system for us, as you say, we had an existing system that we installed about 15 years ago. And so that was kind of coming to the end of its cycle of what was going on with it. And so the credentials of our business, we're producing raw milk cheese. We're really into food and sustainability. We have like farms in the area that we're doing lots of like herbal leis and things and doing everything a bit more regeneratively. So actually the solar thing really fit with that like wider narrative anyway. Plus, the cost savings are massive. It makes so much sense for this particular site. We're a massive energy consumer here, having a dairy operation, ice cream, a bakery operation. All of this is very hungry for electricity. So to have more of a kind of sustainable self-production was the way forward. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
You're now farming sunshine as well.
We are farming sunshine, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's what we do out in the field and now on the roof, yeah.
Brilliant. So empty roof space, earning you nothing. Let's get some solar up there. It will start generating clean green electricity that you're able to use and or not use, sell back to the grid. It's an absolute no-brainer.
Totally, and also I suppose for us, when we're with the type of industry that we're doing, we're actually consuming a lot of the electrical energy at the same time as the sun's shining. So, over on the farms, although I think it would still be a really viable option for a dairy farm, some of that milking is done not in the daylight, whereas up here, all the activity is done in the sunshine. So it really, really helps and really, really works. So 60% of actually our production, our consumption is being produced on the roof.
Yeah, fantastic. And your added bonus of if you've got any of those units behind us tenanted, you're able to charge that free electricity essentially to them at a nominal rate.
Well, it's not exactly free. Obviously, there's a capital outlay that we've got to kind of look at. And but you're absolutely right. Rather than relying on an export kind of tariff and commodity market, we've got our own existing tenants, which I think for them it's really useful as well, because you can kind of cushion your tenants from fluctuations within the market as well. So that's a real good selling point. Plus, for those tenants here, they've got their own kind of green credentials and stuff that they're actually using energy from the sunshine. And from our perspective on the business side of things, it means that the payback is so much quicker. We've always actually charged our tenants for electricity because we're quite far off the grid and we have a generator system. And so we had that infrastructure in place, and it seems to have just fed straight into it. It's great.
So also green credentials wise, you're looking at saving over 40 tons of CO2 per annum, which is the equivalent of planting around 2,000 trees, and also over 200,000 kilometers of driving. So you're now driving on sunshine.
I mean, we have our whole business, we have direct link with our customers. So all of that really helps with the whole kind of customer experience and what we're actually doing by generating our own power through solar is huge. from a sales and marketing perspective. And I'm sure, you know, it's the way the world's going at the moment as well. I mean, crikey, look at it today. We're actually producing some decent electricity today.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we will do throughout the whole of the summer.
Part of the big motivation now is energy security. So over 22 years of installing solar, it used to be about clean, green energy. Feed-in Tariff, which you happily jumped on, it was about return on investment. When do I get my money back? Now it's about securing part of your energy needs. So as you just mentioned earlier, that sort of buffeting effect of securing and or shielding your tenants and yourself from rising energy costs or things that are happening around the world that drive those those sneaky overheads. So energy is one of those overheads that is always there. We use a lot of electricity, and now you're producing your own. You're farming the sunshine.
I totally agree, and I think that this can be that the stepping stone. This is probably the first stepping stone of a wider project. We're actually overproducing the energy on the roof at the moment. So as the technology and batteries and everything else that catches up, and then also maybe when we've actually paid off this, which is going to be not very long at all, then we can actually go again and maybe invest at that stage in some kind of energy storage for the future, which I think could be really, really interesting, because obviously overnight you're not producing anything, but if we can store it, maybe we will be calling you up again maybe in a couple of years.
Well, let's watch this space.
Yeah.
What I'd like to talk about is the process of, as a business owner, the process of you first thinking, well, hang on a minute, I've got this roof, is solar a good idea? So can you talk me through how nauseating that was for you, or was it an absolute pleasure engaging with Sunlit Solar from the outset? And also the disruption during installation, was there downtime within your business? Because that's really important as a business owner. You are running a business and that business needs to keep running.
Yeah, totally. Well, I think like certainly on the farming side of things, and also generally being a business owner, you're approached quite a lot these days from different solar companies about, you know, have you got a spare roof and all this kind of stuff. We actually had 3 or 4 different companies approach us and quoted. The reason why we landed on you was, I mean, we liked the fact that there's minimal kind of disruption. I mean, this is a working site, so we can't have huge amounts of traffic and huge amounts of scaffolding and bits and pieces going around. So that was really useful. That was amazing. And also just having confidence in the people. We've known each other for a little while anyway, so that was really good. And it's about having the confidence in the people and also knowing that you're going to get a really good quality product at the end, which is exactly what we got.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really pleased.
Glad to hear it. So full in-house team, we don't subcontract. The only thing we do subcontract is the scaffolding. And I'm really pleased that we've been able to deliver this project to you, Tom. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Nice one. Well, thank you. It was great.
You cannot lose.
You cannot lose.
You cannot lose.